Okay, time now for our main event of the evening. It is in the heavyweight division. It features a guy who is very much in the heavyweight picture and a guy who wants to get back into the heavyweight picture. Deontay Wilder and Siarhei Liakhovich.
Springs making his way to the ring from Scottsdale, Arizona, with a record of 25-5 with 16 wins, coming by way of knockout. The former WBO heavyweight champion of the world, Siarhei Liakhovich.
So Siarhei Liakhovich, 37 years of age. He's been fighting for 14 years as a pro. Very good body puncher, and he feels that that's going to be the key for him tonight as he fights a younger opponent, Deontay Wilder. His career did peak back in April of 2006. Steve told you about that in the open of the show. He upset Lemon Brewster to win the WBA version of the WBO version, I beg your pardon, of the heavyweight division. But he lost the title in his first defense 7 months later to Shannon Briggs. Liakhovich has been stopped in his last 2 fights. The last one against a far less experienced fighter by the name of Brian Jennings. He does come into tonight off a 17-month layoff, but when he won the championship against Brewer, he was coming off a 16-month layoff. Steve, take us behind the numbers.
Liakhovich, Barry, fading away. He hasn't fought in 17 months, and he's a long way from his prime. He hasn't beaten a top heavyweight in 7 years. Giving round. Liakhovich is here largely because he usually goes deep into fights. He's been stopped 4 times, but never before the 9th round. At big man barometer, Liakhovich's most recent fights were losses to a pair of the game's better young heavyweights, unbeaten's Jennings and Robert Helenius. How will Wilder compare?
And now, Fantasy Springs from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, with an unbelievable, undefeated record of 28-0. All 28 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2008 United States Olympic team, Deontay Wilder.
Well, there you get a look at 27-year-old Deontay Wilder. Took 27 years to make that mask, too, I believe. He won the bronze medal at the Beijing Olympics back in 08. 4-year professional career. He's still considered to be something of a work in progress, but he has been fighting steadily, albeit against a low level of competition. He was, as we mentioned earlier, both a football and a basketball player. He turned pro in boxing, or turned to boxing, I should say, at 21. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic. He's got all those tools, but he did have very few amateur fights, and so he's kind of learning on the job. The question he needs to answer tonight is stamina, and does he have it? He's never had to go beyond 5 rounds, and he's in there with a guy, as you pointed out, Steve, that if nothing else should give him some work. And in the heavyweight division, anything can happen. So take us behind the numbers on Deontay Wilder.
Well, you certainly don't see a record like that very often. For Wilder, cameo appearances. He's knocking everybody out. Everybody placed in front of him. He's averaged only 1.7 rounds per fight, and he's never seen the 5th round. You again. Since the beginning of 2011, Wilder's fought 14 times. Liakhovich has fought 4 times. Warning, Liakhovich isn't likely to be given time to work off the rust. And who dat? A lot's been made of the quality of Wilder's opposition, and rightfully so. Say what you want about where Liakhovich may be, but he's at least a small step up for Wilder.
So that's the setup for our main event. Deontay Wilder, Siarhei Liakhovich, both heavyweights, 10 rounds or less. And with that, let's take you up to the center of the ring once more. And the ring announcer, Joe Martinez, for the formal introductions. Joe?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Fantasy Springs Resort Casino here in Indio, California, this is the ShowBox New Generation main event of the evening. 10 rounds scheduled for the WBC Continental Americas Heavyweight Championship. Brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions in association with Corona Extra, La Cerveza Más Fina, and Showtime. This bout is sanctioned by the WBC with supervisor in attendance Greg Hubble under the auspices of the California State Athletic Commission Executive Officer Andy Foster and Chairman John Frierson. Our 3 judges scoring this bout at ringside on the 10-point must system. From Bassett, California, Ray Corona. From Tustin, Max DeLuca. And from Huntington Beach, Dr. James Jenkins. And when the action begins inside the ring, your referee in charge, Thomas Taylor. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the judges are ready and the fighters are ready. Indio, California, make some noise if you are ready! Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing green trunks, trimmed in red, he weighed in officially 232 pounds. This veteran brings an outstanding record consisting of 25 victories, 5 defeats, and 16 knockout wins. Fighting out of Scottsdale, Arizona by way of Belarus, here is the former WBO heavyweight champion of the world, Siarhei, the White Wolf, Liakhovich. And next his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing camouflage, trimmed in bronze. He weighed in 224 pounds even. His professional record stands perfect. 28 bouts, 28 victories, 28 knockout wins. He is a 2008 Olympic bronze medalist representing the USA from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Here is the undefeated Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder.
Sergey, give me a glove. Deontay. Gentlemen, I've gone over the instructions in the dressing room. I want to remind you, protect yourselves at all times. Listen to my commands. Touch them up, back to your corner.
The numbers for this one, Wilder 10 years younger, but more significantly, he has a 6-inch reach advantage. And if you can't get past Wilder's telephone pole jab, you probably can't get close enough to hit him. And the rules, same as we've had in our first 2 fights, no standing eight, no 3 knockdown rule. The ref or doctor can stop the fight. You can't be saved by the bell in any round. And if there's an accidental foul that brings a stoppage before the start of 4, no decision. After that, we go to the cards, Barry.
All right, round 1, and Liakhovich comes in here stone cold dry. Has not broken a sweat, and that's always a concern for me. Flash knockdowns happen often when you see a fighter come in like this.
Well, Liakhovich, he's an experienced fighter. Even though he hasn't been active, he's still a veteran, and he's seen a lot of things in boxing, been put in certain situations that Deontay Wilder hasn't seen.
Deontay Wilder, remember, he's the last American male to win an Olympic boxing medal. That came in 2008. And Liakhovich fought in the '96 Olympics for his home country of Belarus. He's the only professional world champion from Belarus.
Was talking to us about the fact there's a very talented amateur in Belarus now. We may see somewhere down the road.
And professional experience, by the way. Liakhovich, 181 rounds to go with those 30 fights. Wilder, because he's knocking everybody out so quickly, only 49 rounds.
Wilder wouldn't mind going some rounds in this fight, but he, of course, said, if I can clip him, I'm going to clip him.
Yeah, he said he wants to relax and just, establish his jab. And, he said if the knockout comes, it comes. If it doesn't, then I go the rounds. That's what his trainer, Mark Brilliant, said. 1984 Olympic gold medalist, world champion, and they're built the same. They're tall and lanky.
Yeah. Speaking of trainers, Liakhovich working now with Mike McCallum, the body snatcher. His 3rd trainer in as many fights, but he said what McCallum has been working on, obviously, is going to the body, and he wants to do that more tonight. Good, quick left hand shown by Wilder. There's a right hand, drives Liakhovich into the ropes. Down he goes. And it's over. Just like that. Hello, goodbye.
Stay, Sergey. Sergey, stay. Don't move, buddy. You're okay. Stay right here. Stay right here. Stay right here.
They're telling Liakhovich stay down. He wants to get up. He was shaking when he went down. Nervous reaction.
Yeah, that was scary. He was right in front of us, Barry, and he was spasming when he went down.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's okay now, or appears to be okay. He is communicating with the referee. Wants to get up, but they'll keep him down, and as they should. In the meantime, what can you say about Deontay Wilder? I mean, that was jab, bang, bang.
It's really the first right hand he threw.
And he wasn't even looking for it. He was just trying to establish his jab, and now that's 29 knockouts, 29 wins.
They will still tend to Liakhovich. And He is communicating with the doctor and with the referee that will keep him down. Paramedics coming into the ring now, too.
Yeah, they're bringing a stretcher in, probably to immobilize him for safety reasons. Let's hope that.
Absolutely, and they're doing a great job. Here it is again.
Now, he caught him with a hook there, but that's not the punch. Watch the jab, right hand. And then once Liakhovich went to the ropes, that was it. And look at Liakhovich's reaction. Look at his left and right, his feet.
Yeah, ugly, one of those ugly knockdowns.
Yeah,
what
that
a
was
shot.
That was full force with the right hand.
Sure was, and caught him bouncing off the ropes, too.
Full force, great balance. Look at him.
Even that jab forced him into the ropes.
Good thing the other right hand missed him. He was already down there. That second right hand he threw.
Well, Liakhovich is right above us, and he does look at least clear-eyed.
Yeah, he's sitting up. They'll get a nice bag on his back. He wants to stand
Look at
up,
that reaction, though, of Barry. That was very, very scary.
Yes, it was. Good job again by the referee Taylor to step in.
We're gonna get you water, okay? Let's get him some water.
Well, again, you know, I hate to go back and say it, but he came in here without having broken a sweat, and it took a minute and 40 seconds.
We know Liakhovich was past his prime. That's not what this fight was about. What it was about was trying to get Wilder some rounds against an experienced guy. He didn't get that. If this was a baby step up, he made a big statement, a monster statement, taking that baby step.
You have a headache or anything? You okay? No? Okay.
And these are the U.S. heavyweight hopes. We've talked about it since about 1753. There hasn't been a U.S. heavyweight worth talking about. Well, these are the ones we're talking about now. Brian Jennings has sort of come out of nowhere to perhaps lead, although these fighters are listed alphabetically. Seth Mitchell, well, he avenged his loss to Jonathan Banks, and he's going to tackle the heavyweight who used to head this list, Chris Arreola, on September 6th. And Andy Ruiz, perhaps the least known of this group, but he got a very big win a couple of weeks ago against Joe Hanks, who was 21-0. And Malik Scott, he's been around a long time, just lost under somewhat controversial circumstances to Derek Chisora of England. And then you have Wilder. You see now he goes to 29-0. And in terms of pure punching power, I don't think there's a doubt which fighter belongs first on this list.
No, I agree. He's going to start to open some eyes. I don't think there's any question about it. Here are the numbers, Steve.
Yeah, the numbers pretty meaningless here because it really was one right hand that did the damage. No one has ever done this to Sergei Liakhovich before, and I think that's the underlying meaning of this fight.
Well, it was an impressive win for Wilder, to be sure, regardless. I mean, Liakhovich, at the very least, has been in there with some really good guys. Let's make it official now. We'll go to the center of the ring once more. Joe Martinez with the announcement. Joe?
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes officially 1 minute, 43 seconds. Round number one. Referee Thomas Taylor calls a halt to the contest. Your winner by KO victory, recording his 29th straight victory, 29th straight knockout win, and still the WBC Continental America's heavyweight champion, the undefeated Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder!
So there is your winner tonight, and in very impressive fashion, Deontay Wilder takes another giant step forward, I think, in the heavyweight division. A one-round knockout, not even a round. It took him a half a round to get the former champion Sergei Liakhovich out of there tonight. You can't be anything but impressed with this guy, and again, even tempered by the fact that he fought a guy who might have been on the downside of his career. Earlier tonight, we had a chance to see a guy who we've seen on numerous occasions here on Showbox, Gary Russell Jr., coming into the ring. He was coming back to boxing after a layoff that was caused by a hand injury. He did fight a tough veteran by the name of Johnny Ruiz. Ruiz had never been stopped in a fight, and he wasn't stopped tonight either. He went 10 long rounds with Russell, but Russell did win a decision that really was never in doubt in this tune-up fight. We expect that we will be seeing Gary Russell Jr. once again, and we will be seeing him on Championship Boxing. Meantime, tonight belonged to Deontay Wilder and Francisco Vargas. Tremendous victory for both these guys. I want to ask you about Vargas. We talked about him in the beginning of this program. Fought a guy in Brandon Bennett who was undefeated, and he seemed to answer every question.
Absolutely. This is really good for his development. I mean, he fought a slick, fast guy. He was able to close the distance and fight through adversity, too, because he was cut, and you saw he took the cut very well. He showed he was in excellent shape, and I like Vargas. I think we're going to see a lot of him in the future, and I think this was a big stepping stone for him to get and go on to bigger and better fights.
Yeah, outstanding body shots by him. That's something he obviously worked on, and not a lot of guys who are natural body punchers. He seems to be.
Absolutely. That was the key to the fight. You know, he was his relentless attack, body work up and down. I mean, he was always in your face, and we saw that Bennett couldn't find answers for him.
All right, let me turn to my cohort, Steve Harhood here. And Steve, give me a report card on Deontay Wilder. I mean, there's probably not much you could say except, wow.
I'm almost tempted to give him an incomplete because we didn't see him very much. Barry, this was a little bit unexpected. The whole point in him fighting Liakhovich was to get rounds. Liakhovich, we said, had been stopped before, but never early, never like this. So what this means is that now, as a fight fan, you want to see Wilder tested. You want to see him fight someone a little tougher. I'm going to play matchmaker for a moment and suggest Dominic Gwynn as an opponent, a guy who has always gone the distance, never been stopped. Deontay Wilder, as crushing a knockout as this was, Barry, he still needs rounds.
You know, much as I like Vargas as a natural body puncher, I think one of the things that's always impressive to me with a heavyweight, and maybe you have to go back to Larry Holmes, is the effectiveness of a jab, and Deontay Wilder really seems to have that.
He's got the long jab, he follows it with the right hand, and as long as he understands distance, and you know, he sparred quite a bit with Vlad Klitschko. He learned a lot about distance. When you have his physical advantages and you fight at the right distance, he's going to be difficult.
Yeah, he said that they used to sit and talk quite a lot, and that Klitschko actually helped him, and who knows but that one day he may not be in the ring with him.
Exactly right. Although waiting for the Klitschkos to pass and to leave boxing would not be the worst idea for a lot of these young American heavyweights.
No, I think you're right, and he said that too. He said he learned a lot from Klitschko because Klitschko is just that good.